Good morning everyone. Can you believe it's April already? Summer is coming, the spring is here, everything's beautiful, but it does mean it's the beginning of our April declutter month. So I thought we would start with the declutter in the kitchen, as I feel like it would be a pretty easy start and get me rolling with the rest of the declutter on the house. So let's get out into the kitchen and we'll start our big April declutter. So I'm starting off today in the cleaning cupboard in the kitchen under the sink. As you can see, it's very overstuffed with cleaning products and gardening stuff and cleaning cloths. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is empty every single thing off of this top shelf and give the shelf itself a clean. It's relatively clean and tidy in here from when I did my spring clean a few weeks ago, but there are some marks already starting to show from the bottoms of all the bottles and things like that. So I'm going to get everything out of here and I'm going to give it a quick wipe over with my pink stuff spray. And then I've bought a couple of rolls of shelf liners that I'm just going to cut roughly, not perfectly, just to pop on here to stop any further rings or anything from the bottom of cans from rusting onto the top. So the idea for this cupboard eventually will be that there will be very minimal sort of multi-purpose cleaners in here, and not that many of them. I always get a little bit overexcited when I'm doing the full house deep cleans with the cleaning products. I go overboard and I buy way too much, and then I spend the next couple of months just trying to use things up, things that I haven't really enjoyed using, I haven't found work particularly well, and I end up just spending all my time using those up, and I need to stop doing that. So I'm going to invest in some prettier storage, but I want all of my cleaning products to fit in that storage in here eventually, so that I don't overdo it. Anything that doesn't fit does not stay. So for today, I'm just going to be clearing out the few bits that I'm absolutely not using and trying to make better sense of what I am using in here and what needs to be in here. So as you can see on the right hand side here, I'm trying to keep it to mainly my plant feed, my gardening supplies, and a couple of the bulk flash bottles, because I reach for those on a pretty much daily basis, and the garden stuff, it makes sense for it to be right next to the garden. On the left hand side at the back, I'm putting my least used items, my rare use items, followed by a layer of the stuff that I need to use up, the things I either wasn't impressed with or just don't use enough to warrant them constantly being here. And at the front I am putting my go-to products, the things I use every single day multiple times. So moving down now to this bottom shelf, at the moment it is storing all of my cloths, my oven gloves, tea towels, spare sponges and things like that. So for today I'm just going to be kind of reorganising those. There's not much here that can go, but tomorrow when I clean out the weird little end cupboard, I'm going to be trying to get the tea towels and the microfiber cloths into that instead of in here. And in here eventually the goal is to have kind of overstocks and spare sponges and things like that in here instead, because they don't fit properly into that little cupboard at the end. So again, I'm just going through roughly cutting some of the liner and popping that down in there before I put all the bits back in a more organised, more user-friendly fashion. One thing that is happening in the next couple of weeks, I already have all of my new microfiber cloths for the rest of the year. But I also will be going out and getting all new tea towels. Ours are looking pretty battered, pretty stained. There's rips, there's loose threads. So I'll be going and getting brand new tea towels. I'll have my new microfibers, and it will all look a little bit more cohesive. So for the time being today, I'm putting all of my garden sprays in here as well. They are on the verge of being used up. So once they're gone, they're gone. And of course, my little window back too. One cupboard, done. So it's day 2 now, and it's time for the weird end cupboard. This is just what we call it. It's the weird end cupboard. It's too small to fit proper things, but you know, it's a useful space. So like I said on the little video I was doing yesterday, I want to use this for storing my microfiber cloths, my tea towels, and this will be where we store our excess long life milk. It's, for some reason, I don't know why we started putting the long life milk in here, but it's always been in here and we all know where to go for it, and it fits really well in here, so we're going to keep that. However, I am going to move it down onto the bottom shelf, there you go, so that I can move this middle shelf down a little bit and give myself a little bit more room for the microfibers. I'm really excited about moving the new ones in. As I'm going through this week and using up the microfibers, the old ones are going straight into the bin, so that by the end of this week, hopefully, I will have got through them all and I can put out the new ones. The only thing I want to change about this is I do want to find a little pull-out basket that I can put the microfibers into, so it's easier to get them out. I can make these like little drawers inside. And moving on to the third and final day 3. I am not doing the final kitchen base unit this week. The reason being, we cannot decide, my husband and I, between us, whether or not to get rid of the small appliances that I showed you in the spring clean. So like the blender, the stand mixer and all of that. I want them gone, my husband doesn't. It's an ongoing debate at the moment, so they are going to stay where they are, and I will come back to that cupboard later. But for today, I'm going to work on the bakeware and the pan cupboard. There's a lot of chaos in here purely because everything is everywhere. So what I want to try and do with this cupboard is make the right hand side all of our pans and wrap and chopping boards and things like our prep side, and have the left hand side for baking, and I'll pop the cereals back in there. I need a more useful way of storing cereal. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm hoping I can make a space in the cupboard that currently has the food processor and stuff in it eventually to keep cereals and stuff. Nobody really bothers with cereal, but now and then you just fancy a bowl, particularly in the evening when you want a snack. So I don't want to have no cereal in the house, but I do want to make it a little bit more accessible. It's a bit awkward in this cupboard. So again, I'm going through with the liner. The pans really do scratch the shelves in here, and they make marks on the sides and all of that. So I definitely want to get some liner in here. This was a really awkward one to cut. None of these are perfect, guys. These are all really raggedy, but because they are clear, you can't really tell, and it doesn't matter anyway. It's a shelf liner, it doesn't need to be beautiful. If this was my forever dream Instagram ready home, then they would be perfect, but it's not. It's our kind of halfway house, and what we'll do, we'll do. Okay, so most of the stuff that came out of this cupboard is actually going to be going back in, just in a more organised fashion. I have removed a couple of things that we don't use very often. We had some excess pans, we had a wok in here that we don't really use, so we are definitely going to be getting rid of that. But the rest of it just needs to be organised, like I say, one side baking, one side cooking, and it's currently a week later when I'm doing this voiceover and it's holding up pretty well. Not perfect, but pretty well. There's a couple of bits in here that I want to get some organisation for. So like the pans and the pan lids, I want like little racks for those so they can sit in those properly. I want to get a cling film and kitchen foil dispenser thing that I can put inside the door to make those a little bit easier, just little things like that. But for now, most of it's going back in, just in a more organised way, and it's working out a lot better for us at the moment. So that's it for this little jump start into decluttering. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. I'm certainly feeling motivated to go and get a bunch more done. I will see you in the next one. Have a great week. Bye bye.